Okay, today I'm doing a bit of work in the engine room, or the engine area, taking this paint back to metal down here to repaint it with the Rattle Red. After it's just getting chipped and a bit old, and I just want to tidy it up really, but I misjudged how much dust there'd be, so everything's red, I'm red, all my tools are red, my bed is red, the floor is red. So I'm going to clean up and get some primer on this metal, on this bare metal, before it oxidizes. Humble engine bay. This is my new Beta 43 that I installed a couple of months ago now, and unfortunately, because of the issue with the gearbox leak, we're going to have to take it out again today. So I've disconnected all of the coolant system and throttle cable, electrics, everything. It's ready to go. Just need to undo the gearbox and the engine mounts, and then it'll be lifted out today. Reasonably sad state of affairs that we have in the engine bay. Going to get it all cleaned up, and then these rods here, or these box sections here, are going to be replaced, I think, with some smaller ones, so that we've got a bit more travel on the engine mounts, because they're right down at the bottom. That's what's been causing my issue with the gearbox being misaligned, or the prop shaft being misaligned. So why am I fitting my engine for the second time? The reason is because firstly I blew up my old engine, the Perkins, in Milton Keynes, and then I I found a Beta. Had that craned in, I fitted it, it was fine. The alignment was a little bit off on the sort of vertical on the front of the engine, was too high up, so it was putting pressure on the gearbox. Long story short, the gearbox seal went and it started losing oil all the time whilst I was driving and running the engine. So the engine's been out, had a new seal put in, and then whilst it was out I painted the engine bay, because the paint had come off from a couple of years ago with all the oil, I think, or for some reason. So I painted the engine bay again. Now the engine's back today on this rainy morning. We're going to fit it, and then hopefully that'll be it, and it'll be happy in its newly painted home, and it'll be up and running in no time. Hopefully I'm going to get it done this morning. It is pretty chilly now. It's on the first cold day. I've got the fire on, but I'm looking forward to getting it fitted and having my engine working again. The engine's found its way back into its home in the engine bay. It's time to hook it all up. Got my overalls on. It stopped raining finally, so let's try and do this without making too much of a mess. I think it's worth mentioning that I'm not an engineer. I just enjoy it for some reason, and I'm learning a lot of this stuff from this book here, which was recommended to me ages ago from Victor from Holly the Cafe Boat, and then it was recommended also by Brian from SV Delos, and it's heavy enough. It's got a lot of information I'm just on the verge of understanding it, so that's how I like to go. After what feels like a couple of years, I've now got to the point where I think the engine's aligned. I've got these feeler gauges that I've been using to accurately determine the distance between the propeller shaft and the gearbox. So I'll show you now. This is the area here. And I've just been sort of putting these in here. And you've got to get it so that there's no difference between the difference in space between here and here. So I think I've done it right. I've done it a couple of times now and checked it, so hopefully we'll see when I fire it up and take it for a drive whether there's any resistance on the propeller shaft like there was before, and hopefully it runs alright. It's been quite a long journey getting the engine back in for the second time. There's been a few leaks of things and a few... It's all learning, isn't it? All a learning curve. I'm happy to be making mistakes because then I learn from it. And as I said, I'm not a professional engineer, I'm just trying my best. I'm trying to learn how to do it as much as I can myself. But I really like the engine. It's a Beta 43 that I've purchased and it seems really good. Yeah, so we'll see how it holds up in the future. See you soon. Going up for a walk up to Mow Cop today, which is a nearby hill, has a folly and a great view over Cheshire all the way to the Peak District and Manchester, so hopefully it stays clear and we can see the view up top.
Test for the old thighs.
Okay, where are we heading?
We're heading to Mow Cop, as you can see behind me. As you can see behind me, it's really windy today. We're going to Mow Cop.
Mow Cop.
This is my first time using a gimbal, so if there's any shots of Dan, you know that he's not holding it. So excuse the dodgy camera work. There he is. Dan, talk to us. You've done this walk before?
I have. Actually, I have many months ago. We did the other one. We've been up to Mow Cop 4 times this week. Okay, I've been up twice.
You run up there?
No, I ran some of the way up, but there were certain bits where I thought, no, I'm going to walk.
Too steep? Yeah, and I thought, I was doing that thing of like, come on, you need to do it. I was like, no you don't, just enjoy it as well.
Went up on bonfire night.
Oh yeah, that was
And
cute.
we were watching all of the fireworks over Cheshire and Staffordshire. Because we're on the border in Mow Cop of Staffordshire and Cheshire in the north. So when we head up the Maxwell Canal, we'll be heading up Cheshire.
This way, and then we're going to cross over the stream. That's us. Heading up this way, and then bang. Straight up, dashing across those contour lines up to Mow Cop.
Let's go.
Very beautiful. I just wonder in what meeting they were sat down and they were designing these horse, I don't know, the horse attire, and thought, right, what can we do for this one? Donuts? Yes, Lisa. Yes, donuts. That's what we need for this. The horse behind me is evidently not happy that they only got the half-eaten apples on their coat thing.
How we doing, Bill? Let's speed that up in the edit.
It's a fairly substantial hill up towards Mow Cop. We're nearly at the top now and already seeing some good views. You can just about see Jodrell Bank. Alright, weather's turned as we've come up to the top of Mow Cop, but it's still quite magnificent.
I feel like the folly is a good idea, and must have actually, it really suits the location, and it must have actually been quite hard to build, even though it's a modern structure. It must have been quite hard to build it up here, because I don't think there's really any good road access or anything. It's still, even though it's a modern invention, just a folly, if you will, it's still something quite impressive.
We were saying that we've only been on canal, flat land for so long, so to get up an actual hill, it's pretty good. It's a big feat for us.
And the view?
Oh, it's worth it. I reckon if it was, the thing is, it's quite nice to have it to yourself. I don't think there's very many people who are walking up Mow Cop on a rainy Monday, so that's really cool. And also, I do still quite like the view even in this. England looks good in any weather, I think. That's what's good about this country. So sort of lush and green that it makes sense when it's raining, and it looks lovely in the summer, so we're pretty lucky. Also because I think we walked up, obviously, one route, but it seemed like it's so riddled with public footpaths and stuff like that up here that you could have come up any number of ways. And it certainly, when you're up here, it's full of little different tracks poking off down different cliffs and stuff like that. So it feels like it's quite a lot to explore.
Giggling, I know.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, I've been up here for a little bit of time now, enjoying the summit, and I think William's sort of
getting a bit chilly, and we're all ready to head back down to the boats now. It's getting dark, so I'll say goodbye and thanks for watching, and see you next time.